Here is a new mid-ranger from Motorola, the Edge 60 Fusion. It may not be as high tier as other Moto Edge models, but it still packs plenty of nice features. I'm Will for GSM Arena, and let's see what the Moto Edge 60 Fusion is all about in our full review. Historically, Motorola's Fusion phones have been the more budget-friendly models of the Moto Edge lineup. The Edge 60 Fusion still has plenty to offer feature-wise though. There's a higher-res OLED display, advanced ingress protection, and a large battery with fast charging, and you even get expandable storage. Like the previous model, the Edge 60 Fusion has a thin and sleek design, with a back covered in vegan leather that curves seamlessly into the camera housing. The back also curves into a thin plastic frame. Overall, the phone feels light in the hand and easy to wield. While last year's Fusion had IP68 rated ingress protection against dust and water submersion, the new model is also rated at IP69, which means it can withstand heated water jets too. The phone also complies with a military standard for use in extreme conditions, and the display is protected by tougher Gorilla Glass 7i. The 6.67-inch OLED display also has a higher 1220p resolution this time around. The screen refresh rate is 120Hz, and there's no difference from market to market like last year. The display looks great at an angle, and swiping and scrolling feel perfectly smooth. The refresh rate is able to dial down to 60Hz when the screen is idling to save energy. At 446 ppi, the display is sharper than last year's model. On top of that, there's now support for HDR10+ video playback. There's plenty of brightness to be had here as well. We measured around 470 nits maximum with the manual slider, and this can boost to over 1370 nits in auto mode, plenty for comfy use outdoors. The Edge 60 Fusion has a stereo speaker setup for audio with excellent loudness. The sound quality is great too, with deep and warm sound. We'll drop a link if you want to listen for yourself and compare to other phones. For biometrics, there's an optical under-display fingerprint reader. It's quite responsive, but we wish the placement was a bit higher up for comfort's sake. The Edge 60 Fusion has a higher base storage tier than last year, coming with 256 or 512 gigs of storage on board. And Motorola has brought back a feature that's not so easy to find these days, expandable storage through microSD. Plus, with an eSIM, you still get dual SIM support here. The interface of the Edge 60 Fusion is Moto's Hello UI on top of Android 15. It's similar to what we've seen on any recent Motorola phone. The experience is close to stock Android, except for specific Moto features which you can find organized within the Moto Hub. One new feature you can find is Smart Tabs within the app drawer. These allow you to access a newsfeed, or notes that you've recorded in the Journal app. And you get the latest iteration of Smart Connect. Like before, it allows you to easily transfer files between devices and connect the phone wirelessly to a PC or monitor. But now you can also use voice commands to control the interface or search for files using natural language. Besides Google's Gemini AI, Motorola now also provides its own AI helper called Moto AI, which is brand new. You can access Moto AI on the fly by double tapping on the back of the phone. Or you can assign the double tap shortcut to something else, like launching a specific app or function. So why would you need Moto AI if there's already Gemini on board? Well, it can do things like summarizing and image generation that Gemini already can, plus exclusives like adding photos, screenshots, and text notes into the Journal app. And for support, Motorola promises 3 major OS upgrades and 4 years of security patches for the Edge 60 Fusion. While the previous model had a Qualcomm chipset, the Edge 60 Fusion uses a MediaTek one. It's either a Dimensity 7300 in the globally available model we have here, or a Dimensity 7400 in select markets like India. When it comes to benchmarks, there are better performing phones in this price range. But the Edge 60 Fusion does a decent job, earning scores which are slightly higher than last year. And when using the phone, it felt responsive and snappy most of the time. In our prolonged stress tests, the Edge 60 Fusion did a decent job, but we did see occasional dips in the CPU performance due to throttling. Our global Edge 60 Fusion has a 5200 mAh battery, and the model found in India has an even larger 5500 mAh capacity. Our global unit did a very good job in our tests, earning an active use score of 14 hours and 18 minutes. The Edge 60 Fusion supports the same 68-watt charging as its predecessor, and in some markets the charger is bundled with the phone. With such an adapter, the charging is speedy. We were able to charge the phone from 0 to 86% in half an hour, and a full charge took 44 minutes. There's no support for wireless charging here. Now onto the cameras. You get two on the back, the main camera plus an ultra-wide with autofocus, basically the same setup as last year. The main camera's photos come out at 12.5 megapixels due to pixel binning, and during the day the quality is quite good. There's a fair amount of detail and good sharpness. Colors are punchy, and there's plenty of contrast. And here are some shots of people too. The edge detection could be better implemented, but otherwise the photos look fine. We also prefer to take these photos at 2x zoom, which made for much more appealing shots. Speaking of that, at 2x digital zoom, the regular photos look good too, but they have some extra blurriness, and we've seen better implementations. At night, the main camera tends to produce very good results. The photos are a bit over-sharpened, but even outside of that, they are decently detailed, with saturated colors. The phone goes for brighter looking exposures, which we like. During the day, the ultra-wide camera produces great results. There's more detail than your usual ultra-wide cam, and sharpness is pretty good too. The processing is overall similar to the main cam, albeit with a narrower dynamic range. Thanks to the autofocus, the ultra-wide handles close-up macro shots pretty well too. The nighttime photos from the ultra-wide are quite alright. Colors are a bit conservative, and the color temperature is sometimes off, but other than that you get good sharpness and dynamic range for this sort of camera. Selfies from the 32 megapixel front-facing cam come out at 8 megapixels, and they're rather good, with impressive detail, accurate colors, and wide dynamic range. There is noticeable added sharpening though, which can help imperfections stand out. The Edge 60 Fusion supports 4K video recording with all of its cameras, including the selfie cam. The main camera produces very nice videos. They're clean looking, with natural colors and good sharpness and detail. The ultra-wide camera's videos are some of the better we've seen in this class. However, the colors are a bit pale, and there's some focus hunting. There's electronic video stabilization smoothing out the footage, and it does a pretty good job. The main cam's low-light video is pretty solid, especially for a phone in this price range. The footage is sharp, with alright detail and no apparent noise. Highlights can come out clipped though. So that's the Moto Edge 60 Fusion. It's got a lot going for it. There's a great display, loud, nice-sounding speakers, very good battery life and fast charging, and a sleek, extra durable build. The cameras are pretty solid, and there's even expandable storage. Of course, it isn't perfect. You can certainly find other phones that have either a more powerful chipset or a zoom camera, or even longer software support. But if you don't mind that, the Edge 60 Fusion has a really balanced feature set and a competitive price, and it's well worth recommending. Thanks for watching, guys. If you're looking for an alternative with a better chipset, you can check out our review of the Poco X7 Pro. And another unique alternative is the Nothing Phone 3a. Let us know what you think, and I'll see you on the next one.